What's up, everybody? I'm Damon Hatfield, and Jim and David and I were just discussing the ongoing drama in the Fast and Furious franchise. This franchise can just not seem to escape the drama. Just a quick recap of the current situation. The current beef is between Tyrese Gibson and Dwayne Johnson. And recently, Tyrese has been publicly calling out Dwayne Johnson because they're getting the spin-off movie in the franchise first before we get the next proper Fast and Furious movie. And he's airing his beef with Dwayne Johnson very publicly, but this isn't even the first time this has happened in the series. Last year, Dwayne Johnson called out his male co-stars on social media without naming any names, and there's also been incidents with Michelle Rodriguez threatening to quit the series if the female characters didn't get more love in these movies. So my question to you guys is, all this drama that surrounds one of the biggest movie franchises in the world, does this hurt the series, or is there a possibility that all this beef actually builds interest in the series and gets people in theaters to see these people together?
Well, I will say that I'm just amused that that there is such a soap opera going on about this franchise behind the scenes, because the series itself is already basically a soap opera with fast cars. I don't think it'll bring in more people. This is already a huge franchise. I think what it has the potential of doing is damaging the identity of the franchise, because the franchise has become, since about Fast 4 on, I haven't missed one of these movies, has become about family. And when Paul Walker died, that extended into real life, and it became, the cast themselves were like a big family, and that was really part of, frankly, the marketing of this series going forward. Is the cast is like that too. So I think what it does is it shatters that illusion. It's kind of like you want to believe that Edward and Bella will stay together in real life too, and then they break up. That's a bad segue.
Who are Edward and Bella?
Twilight.
Oh, no.
Robert Christensen, Rod Pattinson. Our Pat.
David, what do you think?
I think that, family aside, I think this will actually help the series a little bit, because The Rock, especially coming from his background in wrestling, he's so good at creating that beef and just that over-the-top drama, that over-the-top soap opera drama that they can create within the series. And this is a rough and tumble group. It's not Marvel's Avengers. It's not part of Disney. So if there's a little beef behind the scenes, I think that could help them in the long run. I think it'll just create more interest. People are like, what's really going on? Are we going to see something on the screen that's representative of what's happened behind the scenes? I think that'll draw more people to the theaters.
Well, so yeah, you mentioned that Dwayne comes from wrestling, and he's even said publicly in the past that after he airs his beef on social media, the movie studio does their sort of analysis of the public, and they find that interest in the franchise grows from that. He said that publicly. So do you think any of this is actually staged?
No. No, this we know for a fact. We know for a fact that the Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson beef was a legitimate thing. We covered events where these guys couldn't be in the same place at the same time. It's been, that's for real, and I think if you're Universal, you're looking at this, and even though it might play on social media, we're sitting here talking about it, so there's clearly an interest in what's going on, like it's reality TV. The practical nature of it is, with Fate of the Furious, they could not shoot Vin and Dwayne at the same time. So that becomes a production thing. So now if you're going into these sequels and you have to build out shooting people separately, that becomes a cost thing. Everything just suddenly becomes that much more complicated.
Sure.
I mean, keeping with the sports theme here for me, you got to think about like LeBron James. Not everybody can play next to LeBron James. Not everybody can play next to a Michael Jordan character. I think The Rock is on that level of a LeBron James or Michael Jordan. He is the big star. He is the big box office star, one of the highest paid actors out there. And like a Kyrie Irving leaving, to go play for the Celtics, wanting to form his own identity outside of the superstar, I think some people don't deal with it as well. Some people can't be team players. I mean, with the Avengers, you see it. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. Like sometimes there's an Avengers movie where everybody's doing their own thing. We have a solo Thor movie where there's some people left out, but that's just part of the business, part of a big franchise, and it's a great thing to be a part of a billion-dollar franchise. These guys should be happy and celebrate how much money they're going to make, as opposed to feuding. As opposed to feuding.
I will say that I think part of the feud stems from you're talking about Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson joined this series in movie 5 as the bad guy. and now we're talking about him as the lead.
Yeah.
If you're Vin Diesel or Tyrese or, well, no, who weeps for Ludacris? Nobody's talking about poor Ludacris. He's been around for a long time. Or Michelle Rodriguez, you know, who were the leads in this thing all the way through. You know, it now suddenly becomes the Dwayne show, and he gets his spinoff. Like, I can kind of see where some of this beef is coming from. You know, especially if you're Vin Diesel, and let's face it, the man has an ego. He's pretty open about that, and so does Dwayne, and so does Tyrese. Like, you're looking at this as, this is my franchise. I'm the main character. I'm Dominic Toretto. It's my family. That was my.
That's good acting. I like that. Was good.
But you know, so I think they're looking at it from that point of view of, this is our franchise. This guy came in 5 movies in as the bad guy. We made him a good guy. We made him part of the crew, and now he's getting all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so what's next for the franchise? Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's spin-off movie is definitely happening?
Yes. Yeah,
And that's
coming first. And that kind of set off part of Tyrese's social media war with Dwayne, which is that they're pushing back Fast 9 a year, and the spin-off with Rock and Statham is moving ahead. And then Fast 9 and Fast 10 are going to close up the series. They want to try and they're bringing back director Justin Lin, who everyone in the series loves and credits him with making it the big franchise that it is. And so they want to wrap it up in time for the 20th anniversary, which is crazy to think.
It is pretty
Fast and Furious.
No, I don't like to think about that. Well, we definitely want to know what you think about all the drama surrounding the Fast and Furious franchise. Let us know in the comments. For more on the franchise, check out our Fast and Furious timeline, and be sure to subscribe and like IGN wherever you're watching.